And so that's what fresh friendships look like, right? It's like we don't really trust each other. Like we trying to figure this out. It was a lot of gagging moments. It was probably one of the craziest seasons I've been a part of.
Well, look, I mean, it's spilled out. Everyone in the world knows we started the season with Kenya. We ended not with Kenya. Like, do you know, like, are we going to see any of Kenya on season 16?
I don't know. Like we're all trying to figure it out. Like she was there and that's my girl, that's who I've spent the most time with. That's who I was talking to during our hiatus. That's who was giving me advice. That's who I felt comfortable to talk to. So I, out of all people, was extremely disappointed and sad that we lost her halfway through because I'm like, well, I don't really know these girls. This is my girl, and I really feel like her presence was missed. And I've been vocal about it, and I've said it many times. Like I think that they should have been able to resolve their differences and talk it through. I think that's a conversation I'm hoping they can have one day. I really do, and I've advocated for that. I'm going to keep standing on that. And also, I think Kenya's great for the show. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Why is she not here?
I agree. Listen, I am a huge Kenya Moore fan. I have been a huge Kenya Moore fan. I mean, Kandi has spoken out very vocal. Like, I mean, and I guess that's what it is. Like, isn't that the job? Like, Housewives, like, because Kandi said, like, since when did we start having, when is too much too much? Like, is there too much? Or, I mean,
Because it hasn't been too much on me. I mean, they've come against my marriage. They've come against me. I'm this, I'm that. Like, it, everything's been just go ahead when it comes to drill, right? I've been through the mud and back, drug back. Like I don't understand. This is what this is. This is what we sign up for. Even though we know, I will say it's tough to navigate, because like I'm still here, but it hasn't been an easy journey by far. So I just feel like it makes you stronger. But for me, I'm an advocate and a believer in like having those conversations. I'm not advocating for anyone, to do anything that will cross a certain boundary or be illegal. But I feel like on both sides, there were things that were done and said that we'll see how it plays out. But I think they both needed to sit down and have a conversation. I really do. And I
do, and do you think like the door is open, in the future for Kenya to return?
it better be. It better be. I really feel like I'm expecting her to come back. I am. That's me. Because she has to have her side. Like it's always two sides or three sides to the story, right? And there were a lot of things that happened that we're still trying to uncover and understand. And so I just think it would only be fair for those two to sit down and talk about it. That's it. That's what we want to see. That's what we need as a group to move forward. You know what I mean? Because some of us were like Kenya's friends and now she's gone. And you have to explain that how we navigate this group. And that's what the sisterhood is supposed to be about. Right.
Did that affect then your friendship, like with Brittany going forward? Just because, technically, we could get into whose fault it is that Kenya's not there, but like, in a way, she's now known as the girl that got Kenya out of her job, cost her job. Yes, we could argue Kenya cost herself her job at the moment, but like, was it hard for you then to kind of move forward with Brittany because you were so close to Kenya?
Absolutely. Naturally, because every time I show up, I'm like, the same way you just said, like, you're the reason my girl not here, So we had to get through that. And I had to be able to try to fairly get to know her. But I'm like, can we address the elephant in the room? Like, can we get her at the table so they can have a conversation, please? But I understand, the legalities of it. And that's a real thing, too. So that's why I say I just hope at the end of the tunnel of all of this, we can see them have a conversation and either resolve it or not, like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But I want to be there when they have the conversation because we need to get to the bottom.
Yes. Did you ever think, because you said like they've come for you. No one's stood on the sidelines when it comes, I mean, your marriage. And so like, did you ever feel like, did you ever think of quitting the show just because like it got pretty dark for you there?
Got extremely dark. I was very, very grateful for this long hiatus. Like, I can't imagine coming back to Sweet 16 like right after a reunion, like I needed that break. It was challenging for me mentally, emotionally. It's been challenging financially because the divorce is not cheap at all, especially when you're going on 2 years. And yeah, I got 3 kids, so I needed that time to just recalibrate. And it gave me time to get in the studio and write music and record and really like pour my heart out into something productive. So it was kind of like my therapy.
That's such an interesting thing because I never thought about it like that. But right, like you probably were happy with this long pause because it not only gave you a chance to make new music. I know you have music coming out in December and, film a movie, but kind of just step away from the drama that was season 15 for you.
There were days I couldn't get out the bed, so y'all just would have seen me in the bed. That was what I was going through at that time. It was just like, I have to get out the bed, get in the shower, get in my car. Like everything was one step at a time. But because I knew I had music, I had a studio session I had to be at, I had somewhere I needed to be, I can't be late. It forced me to have to get up and get to where I needed to get to. And that was very healthy for me, to have something to look forward to. It gave me a little bit of hope, and it was productive. Like me to have all these emotions, all of these questions, all of these feelings, I was able to get it out. So that's why I'm really proud of my album too, because it really is like a part of me, and people are going to really understand like what I've been dealing with.
Well, the last song you sang on the reunion stage was quite personal as well last season. Are you still living with Ralph? I know earlier this year you did an interview and you said you were still living with Ralph. Like, what's going on?
Whew. Yeah. Yeah, he's still there. He's still
Wow.
there. He's actually, it was a court order for him to move in the basement. So he's there in the basement. I'm on the main level and upper level. So there's separation between us, which is good. And it's allowed us to focus on co-parenting because we're like not in each other's space like that. So,
Does the basement have like its own entrance? Like he can come and go, or do you actually have to see? Yes, if like.
oh, has its own entrance, its own door. Um, and he's like living it up down there. He's like gotten it together, and that is our new normal. Like crazy, but the judge ordered that. That was a court order. So
Do you
crazy.
think like you would continue with that when the divorce is final? Like if you're not
Oh,
seeing each.
oh God, no, no, no. I want my own place. Like, and at this point, it's just certain things that I'm not even fighting for anymore. Everything's a fight because we have assets and all these things we have to divide. But I look forward to like having my own space. Whatever space that is, I'm looking forward to having my own space with my energy, my good vibes. That's it. That's what I'm looking forward to so much.
Yeah, a divorce. I've had a lot of divorce in my family. It's not fun. It's not easy. 2 years.